working for you.
It's happened so much that it's just almost normal, and that's sad, and it's not right. It shouldn't be normal.
First at 5, a dangerous intersection and a mounting number of crashes.
This is the spot where a school bus and a dump truck collided on the southwest side Tuesday. Tonight, only RTV6 is zeroing in on the lack of safety measures there.
Call 6 Investigates Paris Lubell began looking into the hazards at that intersection last week. Now he's working for you to ask why it's taking so long to fix the issues.
It's the intersection here at Southport and Man Road, and people in the area say it's confusing and traffic has only continued to increase. They have everything from dump trucks to cars to school buses and semi-trucks. And they say they brought their concerns to the city, but so far they haven't done anything about it. On the heels of our story Friday about cars, a cement truck, and even a Metro police officer running the stop signs at the intersection on Indy's southwest side, and the community sharing their concerns about what they call a bad intersection, the intersection once again showed its danger on Tuesday after a dump truck and a school bus with more than 30 students on board collided. Joanne witnessed that crash on Tuesday.
I heard the truck coming, and I could tell he was going fast. I could just tell. I've been out here enough, I know. So when I heard the truck coming, I looked up and I could see when he went by, I thought, he's not going to make the stop sign. He's just not. So I turned and looked, and right at the time when I looked, he was slamming on his brakes, but he was almost at the stop sign before he hit his brakes.
Joanne says the stop signs are already hard to see, and she says many people, including that truck on Tuesday, speed in the area. DPW says they added the stop signs in 2017, but neighbors tell us even though it's helped a little bit, there are still crashes and dangerous near misses. There is a plan in the works to convert this intersection, but it's still 3 years down the line. We'll show you what they're doing coming up at 6. For now, on the city's southwest side, Paris Lubell, RTV6.
Thanks, Paris. Now moving to weather. Get ready. We are on the edge of a big warm-up. The wait is almost over. What you can expect tonight before the warmer temperatures arrive. So, Kevin, what can we expect tonight before it starts warming up?
Quiet weather. We're on the edge now. I'm always on the edge.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're going to be in the middle of the warmth by the time we get to the weekend. That's the good news. That's your breaking news. Now you see them. Tonight you won't. Take a look at the cloud cover. These are fair weather cumulus clouds that will fade away once we cool down and head towards sunset. Mostly clear skies and a light wind will lead to some fog. More on that in a second. 73 in Muncie. We're at 70. That's a threshold. That's a big deal. We've made it to 70. That's about average for this time of the year. We'll start working on that 80-degree mark over the next couple of days. Through the evening hours, the wind is light. It's out of the southwest. That's a key to drawing warmer air into central Indiana. As skies become clear tonight with the light wind, we'll likely see some patchy fog around central Indiana into the morning hours. We'll pick up your hourly Thursday forecast and focus on the warmth and thunderstorm threat coming up.
Kevin, thank you. Saying one final goodbye to former Indianapolis Mayor and former U.S. Senator Richard Lugar. Lugar is an internationally known political legend, and he is a Hoosier through and through. Tonight, how some of our country's most powerful leaders are remembering the man who changed Indianapolis and the state of Indiana forever. Senator Richard Lugar, also known as Dick Lugar, left his mark on the country, but he also left his mark on the city of Indianapolis and on the people whose lives he touched. Both Lugar, the political figure, and Lugar, the man, were remembered this afternoon in his Indianapolis funeral service.
And with that, I yield to the senator, the statesman, and yes, the scholar, my father, my hero. I yield to the gentleman from Indiana, Richard Green Lugar. God bless.
Lugar's colleagues in Washington talked about his work on nuclear nonproliferation and his bipartisanship to get things done. His sons talked about the life on a farm or his skills at a piano. Lugar was a native Hoosier who would go on to lead and serve his city, state, and country. As mayor of Indianapolis, Lugar helped merge the city and county together.
Overnight, Indianapolis went from being the 30th largest city to being the 9th largest city. And everybody who was de facto a part of the community became a citizen of the city.
After 2 terms as mayor, Lugar was elected to the United States Senate in 1976, where he served for 36 years. He helped create treaties that led to the dismantling of nuclear missiles after the Cold War. But to many in Indianapolis, they will remember the man, the mayor, who helped build the city they call home.
Perhaps the greatest monument to Dick's leadership here in Indiana is the skyline of Indianapolis and the world-class city that he leaves behind.
RTV6 digital political reporter Matthew McKinney contributed to this report. Senator Lugar died last month in late April. He was 87.
In the future, when my girls ask me, Dad, did you do everything for Mom? I want to be able to tell them that I did.
Days before an Indiana woman died from ALS, she learned her fight for survival was leading to change for Hoosiers. Tammy Kemp died earlier this month. Her family took on a large amount of medical debt to help her fight for her life. Now, Derek Thomas reports Tammy's Law will help Hoosiers on Medicare have access to supplemental insurance. Working for you, we share the story of one family and a new law that could help you avoid burdensome bills.
The day was May 1st. 49-year-old Tammy Kemp was in her bed surrounded by her daughters, 14-year-old Abigail, 11-year-old Caroline, her husband Jeff, and State Senator Aaron Houchin. Kemp was in the final 4 days in her battle against ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. She was diagnosed with a devastating neuromuscular disease back in 2017. The disease makes you a prisoner inside your own body. The bills for her treatment made her husband a prisoner to bills and denials from insurance companies. He showed us a folder full of that paperwork that frustrated him to no end.
How ticked off would you get, Derek, if you've got a wife dying in the next room and 2 young daughters and you're having to mess with stuff like that you shouldn't have to mess with?
If they had had the opportunity to have a gap insurance plan throughout Tammy's illness, they never would have had to haggle with an insurance company or deal with a collections bill. And so the reality is, after passage of this bill, what it would give others in the similar circumstances time with their loved one.
With the addition of Indiana, there are now 31 states where you can get that supplemental insurance. Tammy died on May 5th. The family hoped she would make it to May 12th, which was her birthday and Mother's Day. Before she died, Jeff told her the bill named for her would become law.
And she started crying. And you could just tell she was so happy that something was going to come out of all this that will help people in the future.
Governor Eric Holcomb will be holding a bill signing ceremony for Tammy's Law sometime before July 1st. The Kemp family will be here, and Tammy most likely will be watching. Derek Thomas, RTV6.
Thanks, Derek. And if you are having trouble getting through health care or government red tape, turn to RTV6. Just email us at workingforyou@rtv6.com.
Tonight, Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter is sharing a new message about the search for Abby Williams and Libby German's killer. This is the sketch of the prime suspect released in April, and it's now generating thousands of new tips. Carter tells ABC News that investigators have received more than 3,000 tips following an emotional press conference in April where he addressed the girl's killer directly. Carter chose that direct approach because he believes the updated sketch he released that day will strike fear in the heart of the killer.
I don't believe the individual knew we were going to do that. So it was really, really important. And I think that he was probably there or watching simply because he thought we were on the wrong path.
Carter is hopeful that someone in Delphi now has enough to recognize and identify the killer. Carter warns that investigators already know much more than they can share, and that one tiny clue could bring this case to an end. If you have information that you believe could be helpful, here's how you can send in a tip. You can email that tip at the address on your screen there. Police say that's the best way. You can also call the tip line and leave a message. We have all of this information for you posted on theindychannel.com and in the RTV6 app.
A school on the southwest side says their safety plan worked after a teacher saw a student who appeared to be carrying a gun. This happened at Lyndhurst 7th and 8th grade center. Wayne Township Superintendent Dr. Jeff Butts says once the student was spotted, spotted. The building was placed on full lockdown and a school resource officer got to the students, but says the students actually brought a toy airsoft pistol to school to sell to a classmate. No one was hurt. It's unclear if the student will face any disciplinary actions.
Tonight, the Marion County Coroner's Office is working with Metro Police detectives after a fire call led to a gruesome discovery on the city's near northeast side. Firefighters responded to a fire burning in the rear of a home on the 100 block of North Drexel, just off East Washington Street. When the fire was out, fire crews found a body outside the home close by. The Coroner's Office is looking into the cause of death and looking to notify the person's relatives. Until then, the identity won't be released. So far, Metro Police are calling this a death investigation.
Still ahead at 5:30 on RTV6. Summer is coming, and that means you need to invest in some sunscreen. But is what you have good enough to protect your skin? Working for you, our Scripps team breaks down what you need to know.
And I'm Dave First live at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Busy day, dangerous one as well. Breaking news just moments ago. Show you what happened out of the 2.5-mile oval. Entering turn number 2, this is the rookie Felix Rosenquist. Big time contact up against that outside retaining wall and then buried his number 10 machine for Chip Ganassi Racing into the tire barrier at the inside retaining wall. Good news, he climbed out A-OK. That plus Fernando Alonso's interesting spin on the north end of the speedway. I told you it was busy. Coming up in just a bit.
Rising temperatures and rising rain chances. A few storms tomorrow could be on the severe side. We'll get into the timing coming up.
How at dignityindiana.com.
Well, we are a week and a half away from the 103rd running of the Indianapolis 500.
But there is already a lot of action happening on the track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Sports Director Dave First joins us live from IMS. Dave, you showed us the clip of that breaking news you're following.
Yeah, just happened. We showed it to you. Felix Rosenquist, A-OK, after a wild spin, literally just a couple moments ago out in turn 2. Busy day today. Over 2,700 laps among the 36 drivers out here. We also had an accident involving the two-time world champion Fernando Alonso. To show you that, it happened just after 12:30 this afternoon. Alonso was following Graham Rahal when the car just wouldn't turn. They call it understeer, and Alonso brushing the turn 3 wall, then making contact with the inside retaining wall before swinging back out to the track to hit the wall again in turn 4. He was checked, released. McLaren will go to a backup car tomorrow, but a very difficult day for the two-time world champ.
I think it was just pure understeer that I didn't expect. I was running a little bit close to another car, and suddenly mid-corner I lost completely the front grip, and it was quite digital on-off, and yeah, you try to lift off and avoid the wall, but it's coming quite quickly. Definitely now it's quite damaged, so yeah, I feel sorry for the team and from my mistake, and yeah, we will learn from this, and hopefully tomorrow we're back on track, and yeah, we will back stronger.
And they will get the backup car ready. Tomorrow night, hey, hope you join us for another Thursday night Trackside 6 special, including a rare one-on-one interview with Robert Wickens. Remember, Wickens was the Indy 500 Rookie of the Year last year, but was involved in that nasty accident at Pocono, suffered a variety of broken bones, including a spinal fracture. His road to recovery continues, and tomorrow night we hit on a variety of topics, including how amazingly calm he was when the safety team reached him after the accident in Pocono.
You know, they think I passed out probably from the pain of the spinal fracture. And then because blacking out from pain, you often come back pretty quickly. They think maybe that's what caused it, but it's crazy to think that it's not the 200-something G impact that put me unconscious, but I was heavily concussed. So it's like this really weird conundrum that caused it.
He really opens up that and more, including Rahal's new rides, the state-of-the-art high-performance center out in Brownsburg. Get to know Ryden Hunter Ray, like father, like son for the Hunter Rays. And a Throwback Thursday with the somewhat reclusive Gordon Johncock. Go, Gordy. A rare interview with the two-time Indy 500 champ. Thursday night at 7:30, only right here on RTV6. And a quick reminder about tonight on the news at 11 o'clock, another installment of 2 for the road. This time starring the 2016 winner of the 500, Alexander Rossi. I'm telling you, best way to get to know these drivers, an absolute blast. Tomorrow at 11 only, right here on RTV6. Again, busy day, over 2,700 laps, 2 accidents thus far, one involving Fernando Alonso, one involving Felix Rosenqvist. Both are A-OK. Got about 45 minutes remaining in this practice session. Tony Ganon will join us, as usual, at 6:18. For now, Dave First reporting live from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, RTV6 Sports.
Thanks, Dave. And a familiar face will be back to sing the national anthem ahead of this year's Indianapolis 500. Kelly Clarkson will sing the national anthem before the 500. This will be her 3rd time singing the anthem at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. She did so in 2011, and last year, Clarkson won the first season of American Idol, then became one of the most successful musical artists of her generation.
And we welcome her back. The Director of National Intelligence, former Indiana Senator Dan Coats, says he is worried major threats to the U.S. could come from extremists with high-powered weapons. Coats shared his concerns during a speech at Purdue University Tuesday.
And people always say, what keeps you up at night is the fact that a marriage between a theology, a perverted theology and ideology that we see in this jihadist movements, marriage of that with a weapon of mass destruction. Had the planes that went into the Twin Towers and killed 3,000 people in New York, had a radiological bomb with it, or a nuclear weapon, or a biochemical ability to spread and start a pandemic, we would have been talking about 3 million or more casualties.
Now, Coates says ungoverned states, loosely governed states, wrongly governed states, or non-state entities that have been allowed to flourish or grow provide major threats to the U.S. and our way of life. He says he's worried it's going to take a crisis to wake a lot of people up here.
Well, risk-free trials with celebrity endorsements and enticing offers sounds like a great deal, but working for you, our Scripps team finds out what you have to know before falling for the sales pitch and how to tell if it's really a ripoff.
Snake oil. You know, I bought snake oil.
Robert fell for this skin cream pitch with what appeared to be an endorsement from the popular ABC show Shark Tank. The product promised to remove moles, and the introductory offer was $19.99. He used the cream on a mole for 7 days. The mole stayed the same, but Robert's credit card balance grew by $134 just 1 day after he agreed to the free trial offer. In a recent report, the Better Business Bureau found complaints about bogus free trial offers have more than doubled between 2015 and 2017 and cheated Americans out of $1.3 billion in the past decade.
What consumers are not aware of is that they're signing up for auto payments and they're going to be billed within a short period of time if they don't return that product right away.
And Brian Oglesby with the Better Business Bureau says the average person loses $186 on these deals, and there's no way to tell what's actually inside those bottles of cream or whatever is being sold to you. It may not be legit. And often celebrity endorsements are phony, and victims get hit with steep charges no matter what when they return the product, and it's hard to dispute those charges. So here's what you need to know. Never buy spur of the moment. Google for reviews of the company trying to sell you a product, or check BBB.org, the Better Business Bureau website. Also, file any disputes you have with your credit card company.
Time now for your Storm Team 6 forecast. And I had a chance to get outside and have lunch. I wasn't the only one with that idea today by a long shot.
And it wasn't too windy. That's usually a challenge, right?
Yeah.
Lunch out there, a napkin goes
napkins going all over the place.
5 blocks down.
It was nice.
It was very nice. 81 is the warmest temperature we've had so far in 2019. We'll erase that and put it in 84 on Friday. Right now, beautiful, and the clouds that we have around the Motor Speedway or in your neighborhood will fade away this evening, and as skies go clear, temperatures will fall into the low 50s. Okay, there's your average high. We are well above average for the foreseeable future here as we go through the next several days. In the 7-day forecast, temperature right now 70 in Tipton, 1 degree cooler in Crawfordsville. Temperatures down to the south, upper 60s to low 70s. Bedford at 73 degrees. We're making some progress thanks to Sarah Graves for sending in her pups pick. Dick. Whiskey is his name. You know how you have a certain tone, right, with your dog, and you say, want to go for a walk? And look at those ears go straight up. We've got Whiskey's attention. Temperatures in the 60s this evening, down to around 60 at 11. Kevin.Gregory at WRTV.com if you want me to take your dog for a walk sometime during the forecast. Temperatures in the morning in the 50s. We'll watch for patchy fog that may limit visibility in some spots below a mile for a while. Then we'll start to warm up, and the sun will come out and take care of the fog. 78 in Crawfordsville tomorrow, Tipton and Kokomo at 77. 80 down to the south. Started to make progress anywhere in the metro area. Temperatures upper 70s. Chance for thunderstorms tomorrow. Greatest in the northeastern 2/3 of the state. A line of storms will develop, it looks like, northwest of Lafayette and Peru at 4 o'clock, diving south and east toward the metro area at 7. Then by 10, exiting southeast Indiana. Damaging wind would be a threat with that line of storms. That's why we have the marginal risk for Indianapolis and then the higher risk just north of Indy. As you look at Friday temperatures, there we go, climbing above 81 to our warmest temperature so far in 2019. And the warmest temperature will be erased from Friday, and we'll get a new one on Saturday as temperatures jump to the mid-80s Saturday. Saturday, the best day of the weekend because it will be the dry day of the weekend, 85 degrees, partly to mostly sunny. Thunderstorms develop Sunday afternoon, 81. That leads to somewhat cooler temperatures, but still mild, Monday and Tuesday.
Well, this Claude Monet painting for sale until a brave bidder won it at auction. The shocking amount one person spent on this masterpiece. Next.
Your replacement window hero.
Claude Monet is one of the most famous painters in history, and recently one of his works sold at auction. So how much do you think it went for, Lisa?
I can only imagine.
Right.
A lot
of money. Let me show you the painting that sold. Monet painted it in 1890, and get this, it sold Tuesday night to an anonymous buyer for more than $110 million.
That's a pretty penny.
Oof.
Oh, man. Well, remarkably, that's double that of pre-auction estimates.
Look at that. All right. Dropped a pretty penny there. We could use our credit cards so often, it's like second nature, but we have a story new at 6 that will have you taking a second glance inside your wallet and at your bank statements, too.
But first on the Now, Indy, a spike in hepatitis C cases in Indiana. We speak to a Hep C patient about this urgent health issue and what you need to know to protect yourself. You're watching RTV6.